Hey guys, Victoria here. This is my first time. I'm actually streaming live off of YouTube. So I want to make sure that I set this up so you can actually see me go down with the boys. So come on with me here. Oh, good. Good. I hope you guys can see me. Oh, you can. All right, wait a minute. Check. Let's see how this goes. Okay. There's got to be a better way. There we go. That looks good. All right. So I'm here to talk to you today about the gold standard of dog training and positive reinforcement. Working with your pups, the first thing that you definitely need to know and understand when doing any kind of dog training. So number one is you want to know what motivates your dog. What motivates your dog? So not all dogs are highly food motivated, although usually I can figure out something that motivates a dog. So I would recommend that you explore different options. Typically it's real food, not like a lot of the processed crappy treats. This is one of my favorites. I typically either work with freeze-dried or dehydrated products that has very limited. It's usually just protein. They might add a few other things in there. I definitely go with no gluten, no soy, not a huge fan of dairy. Not all dogs can actually digest dairy. So if you do use cheese, because cheese is a super high value reward, and you notice a little diarrhea, that's usually a good indication that they don't have the enzyme to digest the dairy, which is common in humans as well, right? So find that thing, that high value reward. We're just going to start with some basic dog training stuff. So I typically also recommend that you do your training when your dog is hungry. So before meals is a really great time to do it. All right. So the premise, once you found that high value treat that your dog will go crazy for, as you can see, I don't know if you can see my little sidekick here. This is Captain America. He's a 3-year-old Chiweenie, and he's such a good boy. And he's been, when we got him, he was a foster fail a couple months ago. He had very little training, so he's learned very well. And I haven't even opened the bag yet. So, but he knows what's to come. So again, find that high value treat: turkey, fresh chicken, bacon, venison, salmon, fresh stuff works really well as well. But this is easier. You have it at your beck and call at any time. So the premise is there's 3 steps to basic dog training. So you have mark, reward, release. Mark is the word or the sound that you use with your dog that communicates to them that they did what you wanted them to do, that they were successful in achieving or accomplishing exactly what you wanted them to do. Now, the thing that you want to understand and know is that literally dogs' attention spans are very short. And you literally have like 1 to 2 seconds space between the action that your dog did and you rewarding them and letting them know, yes, you did what I wanted you to do. So mark is a sound or a word. So if you're into clicker training, click. The dog says, oh, eventually once they learn it, they know that once they hear a click, that what is going to follow is positive reinforcement to the act that they just accomplished, right? So mark is a word or a sound. So if you're going to use a clicker or a word, it can be any word, short word, consistent word that the entire family is going to use. I typically use yes. So it's yes, you did what I wanted you to do. Yes. Reward, immediately treat them with that high value treat. Now the treat should be in small pieces. Even like the little circle ones, that's going to take too much time for them to chew up. So whatever you have, if you can break it into smaller pieces, do that as well. The smaller, the better. Mark, yes. Reward, treat. Release is the between each repetition, you want to break your dog out of the habit, because they can be really smart. And eventually they just know that, oh, if I sit or do whatever it is that you want them to do, if I sit and I look at you in a calm, relaxed manner, I get rewarded. So they just sit there and you keep going, yes, treat, yes, treat. So you need to break up that energy. And typically when I first start doing training, I always have a leash on my dog. So especially if your dog is easily distracted. So you definitely want to start with the leash on the dog so that you can just redirect them back to you without saying their name, without using your hands to move them, or you don't have to chase them around and get them all excited. Okay, so mark, yes. Reward, high value. So it's open palm, little treat in your hand, so that when they go under, they have to use their tongue. A lot of times, some of the bigger dogs can be a little ambitious around taking the treat, and they'll use their teeth. So if you put the treat in between your fingers, then they have to use their teeth to take the treat. So again, I would encourage that you place the treat in the palm or the fingers of your hand, put your hand under their chin, and then they have to use their tongue to receive the treat. And then you release. So you pick a word, a consistent word that your entire family will use. It can either be break, free, okay, and you just circle them around and then bring them back to that same space. And then again, ask them, work with that same thing, whatever you're working on. If it's down, or it's drop it or leave it, or whatever it is that you're playing with them. And I like to call these training games. You want to be having fun. You want them to have fun. You don't want to be getting frustrated with them. And look who is here. So I would recommend, again, ahead of time, you have a bunch of little pieces all broken up and ready to go. And notice how Captain knows what's going down right now. Captain America, he knows what's happening. You can just break up a few. So ideally, I'm asking him, he already knows how to sit. I'm not a huge fan. I don't typically teach sit. Dogs know how to sit. I just reward them for sitting and being calm and making eye contact with me. So I don't use the sit command. I will use a hand signal, which is palm parallel, and then just bringing up if by chance they're not sitting. But Captain is so well trained that he knows. So as long as I get his eye contact, as soon as he's already sitting and he's calm, he's not barking or trying to get at the treat, and then he looks at me. And if they don't look up at you, you can take the treat and actually move it up towards your eyes so you can get that direct eye contact. And notice how we got a little distracted. So I want him to come back. Yes. So there's a difference between your mark and praise. So mark is that one word, that consistent word you're going to use every single time that marks the behavior that you're looking for. And then you reward, again, you have 1 to 2 seconds to reinforce the mark with the value, the high value reward. And then eventually they get to that point where that's where the training happens, when they just know. As you can see, Captain, I'm sitting here ignoring him, and my arms are all over the place. He's still sitting there waiting. Yes. Good boy. So again, you want to break up the energy, because he would just sit here all day. So I'm going to say, okay, good boy. Yes. And you can incorporate some training games. Recall is probably one of the most challenging aspects of dog training, and that would be Captain Come. So I would say, Captain, come here, baby. Oh, he's a good boy. Yes. Okay. Now, again, if you had the leash, you would lead your dog over in front of you. Captain knows. He sits. He looks. Yes. I mark his behavior with yes, and then I reinforce with the treat. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. And you can just break up and make it fun. And it looks like Thor wants to be involved in the situation as well. Thor, the pup of thunder, is also my sidekick here. He wants to get involved. So now I got two boys. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Boy. So again, break it up because we could sit here all day and then they're going to just eat these treats and turn into little chunky monkeys. All right, these are good boys. Who's a good boys? Good boys. Yay! High fives. High fives. Yay! Okay. Yes. So again, I'm not asking him to sit. So if he's down, if he's lying down, I'll take that as well. As long as he's not demanding the treat, as long as he's asking politely and saying please, which is sitting or laying down, not pawing at the treat. So he's getting a little tiny aggressive there, right? And demanding the treat. So I'm just going to ignore that for now and then redirect to Captain America, who is sitting nicely. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Good boy, Thor. That's great. So now it's your turn. So I'm going to ask you to practice this with your pups. Take video, short little video, and then drop it in. If you're not already in my Empowered Dog Moms Facebook group, then join us there. Drop the video in, let us know. Also leave a comment below this video and let us know what you thought. Subscribe to my channel and let me know what other videos you would like to see. So thank you so much for spending time with us, and canine empowerment, power to the puppies.